Welcome back, YouTube. It is Saiko, and today we are here with another video in our 30 teams in 30 days series. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing the Toronto Raptors. Is it Toronto or Toronto? I've heard a lot of people say Toronto, so I'm just going to call it Toronto. I don't know. I've always said Toronto, but for some reason in this video, I wanted to call it Toronto. I don't really know. But before we even get into the video, if you guys could please hit the like button, also hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'm on the road to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I said month last video, but that was a complete mistake. And don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you guys don't miss out on another video on the channel. And I'm pretty sure that Pascal Siakam would love it if you did all that for me. So this offseason, the Raptors actually said goodbye to probably the most important player in their franchise history, and that being Kyle Lowry. They sent him to the Heat in exchange for Goran Dragic and Precious Achiuwa. They also let guys like Stanley Johnson, Rodney Hood, DeAndre Bembry, and Aaron Baines all go in free agency as well. But they were able to re-sign Gary Trent Jr. this offseason to an extensive deal, and I'll be honest with you, it still kind of boggles my mind why the Portland Trail Blazers traded him to Toronto for Norman Powell. Svi Mykhailiuk, Isaac Bonga, Reggie Perry, and Sam Dekker were also added to the team over the offseason. In the draft this year, the Raptors had the 4th pick, and with that pick, they selected Scotty Barnes, who I think has the potential, like I said in the last video, to kind of be this Draymond Green type player, which I really like and I think would be really helpful to a lot of teams out there. I really like what I saw from him in the Summer League, especially when he helped the Raptors in a close game against the Hornets. I think that game was like 80-79 or something like that, and I think that Scotty had like 23 points or something like that, 23 points, something around that line. I think he has a lot of potential, and I can't wait to see him play in the NBA this year. As for the starting lineup this year, with Pascal being injured to start the season, I think I kind of already have a set mind on what this team is going to be looking like. I think we're going to have Fred VanVleet at the 1, we're going to have Gary Trent at the 2, we're going to have OG at the 3, Precious Achiuwa is probably going to start at the 4 until Pascal comes back, and probably Chris Boucher at the 5. Looking at the bench, I expect players like Goran Dragic, Svi Mykhailiuk, Scotty Barnes is probably going to be the guy coming off the bench, Yuta Watanabe, and Khem Birch to all get backup minutes this year. Fred VanVleet, I know that a few years ago, the Raptors were kind of looking at him to kind of be the point guard of the future. That's why they were so focused on re-signing him last year, and now with Kyle Lowry gone, he has pretty much been given the keys to be the starting point guard, or I guess the lead point guard on this team. Like I said earlier, Gary Trent was acquired from the Portland Trail Blazers last year at the trade deadline, and I'm still kind of wondering, why did the Blazers do this? I'm sorry, Raptors fans, but I think that Norm Powell was probably the better fit for you guys, and Gary Trent was probably the better fit for the Blazers. But I mean, it is what it is at this point. I think Gary Trent will have a good career in Toronto, but it's still kind of like, I don't know, it still kind of bothers me that the Blazers made this trade. OG Anunoby is basically a mini Kawhi Leonard, especially with his personality, so I kind of expect him to play like he did last year, barring any sort of like calf injury, because that's what held him back last year. He's a really solid defender. His offense was actually pretty good. He scored about 15 points last year, so I'm expecting him to sort of like, you know, take another leap, or at least like stay that consistent and hopefully healthy for an entire year. I feel like Precious Achiuwa was a throw-in to the Kyle Lowry deal. I mean, yeah, he was a first-round pick last year, and he's really young, so that's probably why he was added to the deal. But until Pascal comes back, I see him being the starter, and then once Pascal returns, obviously he's going to return to the bench and probably play really good minutes for them. And I fully expect Pascal to start once he fully comes back. I don't think there's going to be any sort of like, oh, him coming off the bench or anything like that. And I think we all know what to expect from Pascal, because when he's healthy, he can be a really good player. However, is he a number 1 option type player? I don't really think so. I know that a lot of people, including a lot of Raptors fans, were like, oh, he's going to be like our number 1 option when Kawhi leaves, or if Kawhi leaves, he's pretty much going to be able to like, you know, become this like superstar player. But I'll be honest with you, until he gets rid of that stupid spin move that he does like every other time, I just don't see it happening. Don't get me wrong, Raptors fans, I like Pascal. Spicy P is a good player in this league. He's a great player in this league. He has the ability to be a top 10 power forward, I almost said point guard, when he's healthy, but I just don't think that he can be that number 1 option that a lot of people are saying he can't be. I think he could be a number 2 or a number 3 like he was on that championship team a few years ago, but as a number 1 option, I just don't see it just yet. As for Chris Boucher being the starting center, I could actually see Khem Birch taking this starting spot and having Boucher come off the bench, because last year, earlier in the year, he was actually like poised to kind of be that like sort of 6th man of the year, and maybe the Raptors kind of want to do that with him, where he comes off the bench and plays a majority of the minutes compared to Khem Birch. But if starting him would actually give them a better chance at winning games, then I mean, I have no disagreement with that. As for the bench, I'm actually fully expecting Goran Dragic to be traded by the trade deadline this season, or even beforehand. I just say that because I find it really funny that he pretty much told like, hey, Raptors fans, I don't really want to be here. And then he later on apologized and said, actually, you know what? I'm gonna play here. Why not? So when that trade probably eventually happens, I fully expect Malachi Flynn to be the backup point guard for this team. And once that trade happens, I fully expect Malachi Flynn to slide in and get those backup point guard minutes, because I think that he can develop pretty well compared to the less than 40% he shot last year. I think he's gonna improve this year, I'm pretty sure. Svi Mykhailiuk is going to be one of those guys that I'm looking at to just kind of come in and shoot the ball off the bench. I already talked about Scotty Barnes and how great I think he's going to be, so there's not really much to say there. I do think that maybe if OG gets injured with that calf or something like that again, Barnes is probably going to start in his place, and I think that he can really show off that playmaking ability. Or hell, he might even start in the place of Precious until Pascal comes back, just because I feel like they want a defensive playmaking type of guy, and Pascal does provide that to an extent, and I'm pretty sure that Scotty Barnes, even though he's literally a rookie, could probably provide that in a starting lineup as well if they decide to go that route. I don't want Yuta Watanabe to get posted like he did last year, because boy, yeah. If you know, you know. And like I said before, I think Khem Birch is probably going to end up starting instead of Chris Boucher, and Chris will probably just come off the bench or whatever the heck the Raptors kind of feel. I don't really know. It's kind of up in the air what they're going to do with that center position. Last year, the Raptors were like the 12th seed in the East last year, and this year, I don't really know where they're going to place. With the loss of Kyle Lowry, I just feel like this team got worse than it was last year. But I also don't think that the teams below them are going to be better than them this year, so we'll just wait and see. All of that to say, I kind of just think that the Raptors are probably going to end up as an 11th seed for their ceiling, and their floor would probably be the 12th seed, so it's just like a 1 seed difference, but at the same time, it's still like closer to the bottom of the conference. But I think that losing Kyle Lowry is probably one of the biggest question marks I have for this team. Like, is this team really ready to be without him or not? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Toronto Raptors are going to be able to compete in the East for a play-in spot this year, or are they going to just pretty much kind of be around the same range that they were last year? Let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to be it for this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe for more content, like I said before. And yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow for the next 30 for 30, and that being the Sacramento Kings. Bye, guys.